Hello Hobo Nation and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about alpha games and more specifically how us gamers react to alpha games, right? So I'm just going to state this is not about any certain game, even though it technically should be, but fuck it, you know? So how we respond to alpha games, we're starting to see something totally different. So we are pretty much simping hard for fucking indie games right now, right? So any type of indie game that goes on, that has Kickstarter, that fucking just sits there and is in development for years on end. And I know what you're going to say, well, it's an alpha game, you should know what you expect. Yes, we expect the game to be finished at some point. And what's happening is a lot of these games are starting as Kickstarters and they're not finishing. They will stay in Kickstarters for fucking years. I think the one I did recently was Star Citizen. That's been in development since 2011. It's now 2020. So 9 years. Fucking 9 years. And it's still in Alpha 3.9. So you're telling me and I know you're going to say, well, they're doing 2 games at once. Fuck off. They're doing 2 games, but one was in fucking hold for years on end, and they still weren't able to get shit done on the other, right? So anyway, and that's a $300 million fucking game, right? So that in itself has a slow production team, and it's in alpha, and people, you go in their forums and you just see people, oh my god, I will spend as much money as you want me to. You're fucking simping over a fucking game that isn't even worth being a simp over, dude. Like, you're probably also the same type of people who go on Twitch and fucking just donate your entire paycheck to the fucking girl across the fucking screen, right? And then we have games like Please 1013, which we also did videos on, to where people were simping hard over that game. They're like, oh my god, it's going to come out, it's going to be so great, and you guys are going to be so fucking pissed that you didn't jump on the bandwagon sooner. And what happened? It fucking went out of production. Like, they fucking took your money, dude. And we're seeing this a lot more, right? Even games that I have put money towards, like Star Citizen, like Emerge NYC, like this, like that, where the game, yes, it might still be in production, it might not be anymore, which I haven't put any money towards a game that has not been in production yet, or correction, has stopped being in production, or hasn't been able to give me something viable. But it's still to the point where it's like, we sit here and we have these fanboys of these games that just sit there and they constantly are defending the developers. But as gamers, as consumers, we need to tighten up and actually go ahead and give ourselves a stronger demand, right? We need to be, hey, if you're going to give us a game, if you are going to sit there and say, okay, yeah, this game's going to be awesome, if it goes over a certain point and you're not seeing it, we need to stand up and be like, look, fuck off. We're not giving you any more money until you can provide something, right? We need, as a general consensus, we need to just be like, yep, this game doesn't get any more money until it gives us something viable, aka a playable game, or they give us the development that it requires. One game I am going to shout out, and I am eventually doing a review on, for doing something like this, is going to be a game made by Alt Future. It's called Derail Valley. Now, Derail Valley, yes, it took them a year to put out their overhauled update, but in that update, they provided so much to the game, and they didn't leave the game in an unplayable state before they started on this development, right? So the game beforehand was still playable. It still had pretty much the base function for an alpha. And this is a VR game, too. And the level of detail it had in it, right, was ridiculous, to the point where it's like, how is this a fucking indie, game developer, right? Now, you go and look at something like Star Citizen. Again, I'm going to be using this a lot because these are 2 games that I'm developing recent reviews on, where they sit there and they'll be like, yeah, you'll get a bug update when we do our next big update. And it's like, that's not the way you should be saying things. And yeah, if the update's gonna be like 2-3 months away, that's still 2 to 3 months to where people are trying to play your game and can't. And the people who are going to sit here and again be like, but it's an alpha, you should know. It's been an alpha for fucking 9 years. they can fuck off with that fucking excuse at this point. Make the fucking game. Stop worrying about microtransactions. And again, this is just something we need to do, is we need to stop letting indie developers take our money and then play fuck games, right? Because the more we do this, the worse it is going to be for the gaming community in general. And I'm going to state this: us PC gamers are the worst at this. But one thing that did take I would say, gaming world by storm was 7 Days to Die, where it went onto consoles, and it went onto consoles as an alpha release. And if that does not prove that eventually, if we don't sit here and fix our mentality and be like, look, give us something playable or don't give us anything at all, we're going to see where even console players are going to be getting into games and they're going to be like, oh, it's an alpha access, and it's going to be fucking AAA games that are, like, AAA titles that are going to be doing this. Could you imagine if GTA fucking 6 comes out and it's just like 5 cars at first, and they're like, we're in alpha, don't worry, we'll add more, and then it takes them like 10 to 15 years to add anything in? And I know what you guys are saying, but this prevents DLCs. No, it fucking doesn't. It does not. Again, there's games that put in fucking microtransactions into a fucking alpha release. Fuck that, dude. And there's games that they're like, oh yeah, well, we're still gonna have DLC. Like, they already have the DLCs planned. One game I'm gonna state that I feel like shouldn't have been out of alpha, and then they went out of alpha, and then they're like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna still DLC, is Space Engineers from Keen Software House. That is another game to where they gave out a barely playable game, and they put it into beta, and they're like, oh yeah, we're in beta, we're gonna polish things up, and then they went into fucking full release, and the game was still garbage. And they had, where if you were using their own fucking shit, like oxygen pressurization in rooms, you were using, I forget what else, but it was considered experimental. Like, how the fuck is it experimental when this has been in your game since alpha? But I digress, right? What we need to do is we need, and again, this is my point the entire fucking video, is we need to sit here and we need to fight against companies taking our money and giving us shit products back, or taking our money and never giving us a finished product. It's because the longer we do this and the longer we defend against critics and say critics are the ones that are wrong here, and that the game developer is this almighty fucking, oh yeah, they're going to give us the game we want type mentality, then we are never going to fix the problem. We're just going to sit here and shell out thousands of dollars, and people have shelled out thousands of dollars to fucking alpha developers and never see a finished product, which is sad, honestly. Could you imagine if the newest flight sim that's coming out, Microsoft 2020, was to come out in fucking alpha and just be like, YOLO, fucking, we're going to stay in alpha for 5 to 10 years, and then we're going to release another game in alpha as soon as we're done with that? You would be furious that Microsoft didn't sit there and take the time and dedication to give you a good game before actually going ahead and doing it. And I know what you're saying, but Microsoft is $1 million company. It's a multi-million-dollar company, multi-billion, multi-trillion-dollar company. Okay, but you have multi-million-dollar alpha-backed games, and they still in development. Think about that before you just sit here and be like, I'm going to continue putting my money into something as long as it takes. And people will even call it insanity, and they'll still do it. They'll still sit there and they'll do it. You know, with everything going on in our world today, you would think that the gamers would be smarter, and instead we're just sitting behind a money pit that we just keep shelling our own hard-earned cash into, and keep thinking, well, maybe next month it'll be better. Maybe the month after that it'll be better. And it never will be. Because you sit there and you just put your money in, and the person's just taking out the money, and they're buying themselves stupid shit that they don't even fucking need. They're fucking sitting here and they're charging, or they're sitting there and their developers are just taking their cash, because a team of developers it's just going to drink up the cash and not turn anything out. And you're like, oh, but they're doing so much behind the scenes. Yeah. When I see it, I'll believe it. But for certain games, they'll sit there, and they'll sit there, and they'll just keep releasing new, just enough information to keep you hyped, right? And as long as they keep putting out just one little piece of info every fucking day, you will keep tossing money going, where it's almost here, and it never will be. Now, this video is a lot longer than I've already wanted it to be. I'm just trying to let you guys wake up, smell the coffee, fucking sit there, you know, and realize we need to fix it. Alright, Hobo Nation, I'm out. Go ahead, if you like the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, and go ahead and follow us on Twitch, because that's where we do most of our video production anyway. And go ahead and also follow us on the Discords, the Facebooks, and the Twitters. Peace out. Have a good day.